finale of the Mr. Phil Show. This is our last one before we take a bit of a break. We take a break through July. And I just want everybody to enjoy their July. And remember, come back in August and see us again because we're going to start a whole new show, maybe a new format. And we're going to be doing some nice things. So I hope that you all will join us. And if you like what you see, tell your friends. We're on YouTube as well. YouTube TV under the Mr. Phil Show. So I think that would be, fun. You can share it with your friends and family that don't necessarily get it on TV here. And right now I want to introduce to you the man whose name is on the show. I'm Mary Frost, and this is Mr. Phil, my best friend. Hi, Phil.
Hi, Mary.
How you doing today?
Okay.
Good. So we've
So,
got the last show of the season.
yes,
Okay, and we're gearing up for a really good next season, which will
Right.
be number
22.
yes, number 22.
22.
This guy's been doing this for 22 years. 20 of it without me.
Right.
I don't know how he even got along that far. Gee,
Yeah.
how'd you make it without me all those years?
I don't know. I don't know how I did it without
I'm
you.
going to say by the seat of your pants.
Right. But it was quite a year this year.
I think we had a really good year.
Yes, we
We
did.
had quite a few really, everybody that came was excellent performers.
Right. Excellent
You
performers.
know, and we did one show where we interviewed a psychic woman,
Right.
which was different.
Yes.
Tonight's show is going to be a little bit different also.
Right.
We are the musical guests tonight.
Right.
And we are going to be talking to people from the Cancer Society?
The
Cancer
Light-
Society or
the Leukemia.
Society,
Yeah.
right?
Light the Night.
Okay.
We are getting ready for the Light the Night walk, which is on Saturday, October 15th.
Right.
21st. Okay.
Saturday the 21st.
21st, yeah, last year was the 5th. It's the 21st of October.
Mm-hmm.
And the way it looks, you and me are going to be performing for that thing.
All right. That I can do.
Right. I mean, we love doing these things. We just did the Relay for Life.
Oh, yeah. That was amazing. I mean, we were talking about it a little bit in our last show, and it's just still something that's going to sit with us, I think, for a long time. While we're mentioning, like, different charities and stuff that we do, Phil and I, every other Saturday, go to the VFW, and I just want to make sure I have all the information right. It's VFW in Greenville, number 3175.
Yes.
And every other Saturday, they have karaoke.
Right.
We went out there to help them start bringing in more people. It has since tripled,
Right.
which is terrific. And
We are the main headliners there.
well, I mean, they come in to meet us, but it's,
Yeah.
they're coming in and having a lot of fun.
And
they
they've
really
been
are.
wonderful to
Everybody
us.
that's been there, they treat you like family. So
Yes.
if you get
Yeah.
a chance to come on down,
Yes.
I mean, I would recommend it, wouldn't you?
Yes, I would. I sure would. They
Now-
had a birthday party for you,
Yes, they did.
and then for Sandy.
Yes, we've been doing a lot of birthday parties lately.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to let you know that on July 15th, they're going to be having a pig roast, which will include the pork, baked potato, corn,
Say that.
beer,
We can't
no,
say birthday.
soda, water included. Again, that's July 15th from 12 to 3. And then afterwards, if you are so inclined to stick around or if you're from the area, that night's also karaoke night.
Right. With
So
us.
you can also come in, do karaoke, and we have a really good time with that. So it's a nice cause, and it's for our veterans.
Right.
And it's a collection that we like to do.
Plus, it's a special night.
Well, that's it's the night after my husband and I our anniversary, so that'll be fun. We're gonna make sure we have a lot of fun that night.
Right. And all that time, and then it's the 25th anniversary of my show business
And
career.
25th anniversary. That's right. So we're gonna have a big blowout. You know.
Oh, yeah, we sure.
I think it'll be fun. It's going to be a lot of
Yes.
fun. Hello to all of our regulars that come in there and and see us and come and sing and have a good time. So, grab another friend and bring them in.
Right.
That's the way we need to do it.
Yes, that's the way we need to do it.
All right. So now we're coming back August 1st. Is it the 1st?
August 4th, we're
4th.
coming back. We're going to come back with the next live show with our season 22.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to be having, of course, an anniversary show, which will be a double anniversary. It'll be my 25th anniversary in show business.
Wow.
Of singing and all, because without that, there wouldn't be this.
That's true.
And then the name, besides being my 25th anniversary of show business, we're going to have a show called 23 on 23, which is, I have, including KCS with Carl Richards, 23 years with the station on Channel 23. It's going to be called 23 on 23.
And KCS is our Keeping Country Strong. And they're on before us.
Every, over here in Port Jervis.
In Port Jervis.
9 o'clock every Thursday night.
Yeah.
And in the Time Warner, they are ahead of us, 9 o'clock on Wednesday night on their 23.
And we're at 10 o'clock right following
We follow
them.
each other.
Yes.
And on Matamoros, the new Matamoros station, they're on at 9 o'clock every night, and we follow them at 10 o'clock, Monday through Friday.
Oh, really? Every night? I didn't realize it was every night.
Every night we got.
People. Okay, so that's really a lot of coverage, a lot of places for people to see us. Plus, I mentioned for people to look for us on YouTube.
Yes.
So if you miss us during July, if you get sentimental and want a little taste of Mary and Phil, just tune into YouTube and find your favorite episodes.
But
you're
going to find on all the channels there will be reruns done.
There will be,
Yes.
yeah, because we have to show something during July.
On the one in Time Warner in the Hudson Valley, you'll be getting a couple of new shows during this time also that we haven't given you yet.
Right.
So you'll get a few new and a few.
And the reruns that we have actually that are going in should be kind of fun because they're with people that came in and served as alternate guest hosts.
Right.
So, guest co-host. That's a lot of fun because these people, they don't normally do it. And so they came in and they sat with Phil and filled in for someone else who couldn't be here. And
oh, yeah.
The show just goes on,
Right. But I'd like everybody to know that I got a surprise phone call from Lori Mantilla.
Yes,
and
hello,
she misses everybody, and she sends the best to everybody. Mm-hmm. And, she's out there working very hard. She doesn't have a minute to herself. And
do any women?
She's doing shows and stuff like that, so she's doing what she loves.
That's great. Lori, it's great to hear that you're doing all of that stuff, and I think I was able to step into your shoes pretty comfortably. And things are just rolling along here, so don't you worry about us.
Yeah, we're doing just fine.
Yeah. Now, tonight,
yes,
like I said, we're going to run things a little different.
Yes.
You and I are going to be the musical guests.
Right. So
we want to do a song for you guys that we've been practicing. We've been playing at all the karaoke's that we go to.
Right.
It's a special song.
Yes, we did it at Relay for Life.
Yes. Why don't you tell them what it means?
Okay. It's called Angels Among Us. And I fell in love with this song when I went this year in March. WRWD Country Radio every year does the St. Jude's Radiothon, the Country Care for Kids.
Right.
So I went there. It was just so beautiful, so touching.
Yeah.
Actually being with the kids and all that. And we all gathered around and sang this song.
Oh, everybody
That's
did.
the theme song of St. Jude. So we all had to gather around and sing it.
Yeah. And it's becoming quickly one of our theme songs.
Right.
We usually do You raise me
You
up.
raise me up.
That's our first
Yes.
go-to.
Yes.
That's our main song together.
Right.
And this has been our second, and
This
we've
is
been
our
enjoying
second.
doing it.
And
So I think if they feel like if they want to hear it, maybe we should
yes,
get up and
let's
give it
get
to
up
'em,
there
huh?
and do it, and then we'll.
And we can introduce our guests.
Okay.
All right. So
This song is dedicated to you, Faith.
yes, our guest tonight.
Yes, our special guest.
What the hell are we doing? By the way, this was originally done by Alabama.
I was walking home from school on a cold winter day. Took a shortcut through the woods and I lost my way. It was getting late and I was scared and all alone. Then a kind old man took my hand and led me home. Mama couldn't see him, but he was standing there. But I knew in my heart
He was the answer to my prayer. Oh, I believe there are angels among us, sent down to us from somewhere up above. They come to you and me in our darkest hours to show us how to live and teach us how to give and guide us with a light of love.
when life had troubled times and had me down on my knees. There's always been someone to come along and comfort me.
It's so much kind word from a stranger to lend a helping hand, a phone call from a friend just to say I understand.
Now ain't it kind of funny? At the dark end of the road, someone lights the way with just a single ray of hope. Oh, I believe there are angels among us, sent down to us from somewhere up above. They come to you and me in our darkest hours to show us how to live, to teach us how to give, and guide us with a light of love. They wear so many faces,
Show up in the strangest places
grace us with their mercies in
in our time of need.
Whoa.
I believe there are angels among us, sent down to us from somewhere up above. They come to you and me in our darkest hours to show us how to live and teach us how to give, to guide us with a light of love,
To
guide us with a light of love.
Thank you.
Okay, now that we got Phil all emotional, which doesn't take much. All right. We'd like to introduce our guests tonight. I'm pulling out the microphones from the couch. We have, the poster child for the Leukemia Society this year.
The leukemia.
That's right. Her name is Faith.
Faith.
And her mother, Mary.
Yes.
If you guys would come on out. And also the chairman. Is that what?
Faith, just take the seat over here.
A volunteer. Okay. All right. I was thinking you had, okay, a volunteer with the Light the Night Committee. And that's all about making sure that we raise funds and we do all this excellent stuff so we can get people treated. Yeah, so, okay, Faith is a poster child, like I said, which is great. So you're going to see her face on all the posters for the Leukemia Society. And we were lucky enough to get her to come here, and we get to see her face live, which is even better. You know, I love children. It's precious to me. I love that. And tell everybody, how long have you been in remission?
I've been in remission for about 9 years now.
Okay. And what was your original diagnosis?
I had leukemia.
Leukemia. All right. I bet that was a hard time to go through.
Yeah.
All right. How many years, Mom, would you say that it took away from you guys?
It was probably 2.5 to 3 years. Faith was diagnosed right after she turned 4, and she went into remission right about
4 days.
4 days would be great.
And close to when she was 7.
Okay. All right. And you're how old now, Faith?
I'm 15.
She's 15 years old. All right. And going to high school then?
Yep.
Ah, all right. And then how did you get involved with this, Carl?
Mary, Phil, thank you for having us on this evening. I got involved with the Light the Night Walk back in the year 2000, so I've been at this for 17 years.
Wow.
And at that time, 3 women who had each been affected by leukemia, lymphoma, or another blood-related cancer came to me and asked me if I would help them to raise money and awareness, and that they were going to have the initial Light the Night Walk, which was back then held at John Jay High School in East Fishkill, Hopewell Junction area.
Okay.
And I'm also in the media business. I do broadcasting as a sideline to my regular job. So I said sure, and I started emceeing that event.
That's great.
And I've been with the organization ever since.
Wow. Okay. Well, you know what? I didn't tell you anything about it, but I used to collect for leukemia when I was a child. When people used to be able to go door to door.
Sure.
Well, my mother used to take us with her, and we used to go door to door. Then she had my brother, and, you know, didn't want to do it. My sister and I at 11 and 12 would go door to door. We did it for a couple of years, and we collected quite a bit of money for the Leukemia Society, and everybody was more than happy to reach into their pocket and give, even back then, which is a long time ago.
Right. And I don't think anybody remembers this, but I can. In the I know in the 50s, I saw 2 of them. They used to have a telethon for leukemia.
Yes.
It used to be called the City of Hope Telethon.
Right.
And every year, another celebrity would host it. Like Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz. I know they hosted, they showed it down. In fact, they have pictures of it down in Universal Studios in Florida. And then I could remember back, Dean Martin did it one year, and then Milton Berle did it.
Right.
Oh, wow.
Well, the origins of the Leukemia Lymphoma Society actually go back to the 1940s.
Yes.
In 1944, a young man who was a teenager named Robert Rosler lost his battle with leukemia.
Okay.
And a few years after that, 1949, his family decided to start what was then called the Leukemia Society of America. So it was
Right.
LSA. And it went through a lot of different
It did, 'cause it
reiterations
actually
of
would-
names
yeah, I
over the
did-
years,
yeah.
and eventually became the Leukemia Lymphoma Society. And the Light the Night Walk has been around about 25, 30 years
That's
now.
great.
And here in the Hudson Valley, we have several walks coming up, and the local one for this area will be held on Saturday, October the 21st,
Okay.
and it'll be at the walkway over the Hudson Bridge,
Oh,
which is a great site. It's going to
is.
be lit up that night, and we're
Wow.
expecting a big turnout. And I got to meet Faith and Mary when Faith was about 4 years old, and
wow.
you guys got involved because of Faith, you and your husband, Kurt, and you guys have been involved with it ever since. And
That's terrific.
we've made many great friendships over the years. The committee has grown. Right now, the Albany chapter is actually the chapter that sponsors this walk, and
Okay.
they did when we started it back in 2000. And then around 2011, 2012, it got shifted to the Westchester, Connecticut chapter, and then just this year came back to the Albany chapter. So we've worked with both Albany and Westchester, Connecticut, and some of the volunteers who were with us from the very beginning are still with the group.
Wow,
Right.
that's terrific.
And
that
it's
they're-
all volunteers.
Yes.
Mary.
Yeah.
This
Oh,
is
I
also
believe.
Mary.
Yes, I'm a
Like
Mary.
we are.
I'm
And
Mary.
Phil,
She's
Right.
Mary.
And Phil, I was so
Tell you.
excited to come on your show today that I went for a shave and a haircut.
Wow.
Wow.
I
Okay.
said, I've got to look good on the
Shave and a
Mr. Phil
haircut,
show. So
Thanks.
Gee.
my wife was happy about that because I usually start my growth in November, and I take the beard off around March, and today the goatee and the mustache came off along with what little hair I have left.
Well, okay. So if you would have walked in here 2 days ago, you would look completely
I would have
different,
looked
and
completely different.
we just never would have
Wow.
you
recognized
wouldn't
you,
have
huh?
recognized me.
Wow.
Well, men have that option. Women don't. We can play with our hair.
You know, I just remember, I've been doing this for a few years now. I remember when it was in Goshen, at the Goshen racetrack.
Racetrack, that's absolutely correct.
Yeah,
Phil.
it was. I remember that. I was there that year, and I remember there was this girl who sang there, and then she ended up on my show a few weeks later. Then I had wonderful times doing it, in Poughkeepsie at Vassar College.
Right. We were at Vassar for several years. We were at Marist College. We've been very fortunate. We went up to Rhinebeck for a couple of years, which was closer
Yeah.
to Mary and Faith, so they were
Okay.
happy about that. But the walks kind of shifted around the Hudson
Is
Valley.
it only held once?
It's held once a year.
And in a different spot,
Well,
or
we always kind of look for, John Jay hosted us for about the first 5 or 6 years.
okay.
And at that point, the walk moved 1 year to the old IBM Country Club on Route 9. And I believe that's the first year I met
Fishkill,
you.
right?
Yeah.
And it's now Faith Christian Academy, that property.
Wonderful.
And we had it there 1 year, and then we went over to Marist for a few years, and it's kind of moved around, but the group has pretty much stayed intact, which we're very happy with, and I've been not a chairperson, but more of a fundraiser. I MC the event.
Right.
I come on programs like this to raise awareness,
Yes.
because the main mission for the Leukemia Lymphoma Society is to find cures for leukemia, lymphoma, Hodgkin's disease, AML, CML, and all blood-related cancers. That's the mission. And
Right.
someday isn't in the future. Someday is today.
That's right.
We've
It's
been
time to do
fighting this
something.
battle a long time, and we're going to win.
Yes.
Oh,
It's not a
yes.
question of if, it's a question of when.
That's right.
Right.
That's what I said when we did our performance at for the
Relay for Life.
Relay for Life.
Right.
Lost the words.
All good causes.
And I said, okay, now we're gonna kick cancers. I'm not saying any
Yes.
other word.
Right.
And
Well-
everybody, yes, you're right. We are, and we are. Yeah, Phil's living proof that
Right.
it can
It's another-
go. She's living proof
That's
that
right.
you can
the survival
survive.
rate is absolutely
Yes.
up today.
Yes.
And, anyone whom we lose is one too many persons.
That's right.
Right.
And I've been fortunate in that cancer hasn't affected my family personally.
I've been fortunate.
But we've
that way
lost
too.
friends, and we've had friends who've lost children.
Yes.
So my very supportive wife, Marie, gets behind me on a lot of different projects that I work on.
All right.
And every family's affected by some in my case,
Right.
it's heart disease, hypertension,
Right.
and stroke.
Okay.
And I've been fortunate, knock
Right.
on wood.
Yeah, I get you.
But I lost a lot of family members
To
those
that,
diseases.
yeah.
But leukemia lymphoma has affected my wife and I through friends that we've lost and children of
Right.
friends of ours that we've lost. So that's why we stay in the fight.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, I haven't had any contact directly with anybody that's had any of the blood-borne cancers. I mean, there's been a couple of, like breast cancer and brain
Right.
cancer in my family. I know Phil's family, there runs a lot of cancers.
Yes, I lost everybody. My mother, my father, my sister, my grandmother, all gone because of cancer. And my
Right.
sister had pancreatic cancer, and that was the worst of all because
That
she was
one
never
of- that's
sick.
one of the toughest ones.
She was
Yes.
never sick a day in her life, and she got diagnosed in November of 2012, and she was gone by October of 2013. And the worst part, she never told me about it.
Wow. See,
I didn't know about it till, it was almost too late.
Yeah.
And even at that point, she didn't really give me the true facts. Like in July, I called her up to wish her a happy birthday because we really don't speak that much. And she said, this past year, I had a bout with pancreatic cancer, but I'm fine now. I'm working. I'm back to normal. I'm traveling. And her husband, who died eventually of prostate cancer, had the same thing. And, she said, we're just fine. And then I never would have known that. I would have gotten a call that she's gone, but crazy thing happened. We were invited to my cousin's daughter's wedding, and they only sent an invitation to me and my wife. And my son is not a baby. I mean,
Maybe a
he's,
little older then.
in his 30s. And I said, how should we handle this? It's not right to call up and say, isn't he coming? So my sister had all the answers, so I tried to call her to find out what I should do. And if her sons were invited, I call up and her husband answers the phone and says, she's not feeling that well. So I said, what's the matter with her? And he holds over the phone, he says, cancer. So I said, uh-oh.
Yeah.
And I said, she able to talk? He said, she's able to talk, but I don't know if she's going to want to. I said, this is important. But she wouldn't get on the phone. This is on a Wednesday. The craziest thing, I get a call on Friday that she's in hospice and she's unconscious. She's not aware of anything. It's any minute now. And even then, they wouldn't let me go up to see her. I finally found out where she was and, went up 2 days before.
Yeah,
But
well, at least
that's
you
how
got
much-
to say goodbye.
Yeah, right. But, that's how much,
Well, I think, and I'm sure that you could probably even answer it. It's hard to wrap your mind around when you first get a diagnosis. And it's even harder, I think, to tell family members, especially extended family members, and let them know, right? How did you break the news to your family?
Well, when Faith was first diagnosed, it was a complete shock. She was out the night before at her sister's soccer practice, running around all over a playground. I mean,
Right.
absolutely no signs, no symptoms. The next day, her eyes looked a little puffy, and she was sniffing a bit, and we thought, well, we'll just take her into the pediatrician and have her checked out, see if there... It was in May, so we thought maybe allergies, sinus,
Sure.
something like that, but just get her checked out. And we went to the pediatrician, and she checked out her ears, her nose, and her throat, and then started checking here and then in her abdomen. And the alarms and whistles started going off that there was something
Oh, really?
more than what we thought.
She was swollen in
She
places?
did. The lymph nodes in her neck.
Because
and
I don't
her
think that people
spleen.
really know what it is that they're
No.
looking for. Yeah.
And she had, like I said, no signs and symptoms. So
Wow.
they sent us to the hospital, and the doctor sat down and said, you need to prepare. Your daughter has leukemia. And we were shocked.
I bet. Yeah.
He said, you need to, how you handle this is how Faith will handle this.
That's true.
If you take a positive attitude that we can handle this, we can do this, we can conquer this, we can take this challenge. So that's what we did. Now, as far as notifying family, they were as shocked as we were. We went to the
Right.
hospital. We thought that we'd be coming back, and we didn't come home for well over a week.
Wow.
She was in.
At what point did you end up telling your extended family? Did you tell them pretty quickly, or
well,
did
we
you get
did.
treatment started and
we
that
had
kind
to
of thing
tell
first?
them immediately because Faith's older brother and sister were being
Oh, they needed
watched.
to be taken care
right.
of, right?
So,
Okay.
we called them and said, listen, you need to keep them. We don't know how long we're going to be here. We did not want them to have to tell our older children. So
Right.
my husband went home and told Faith's siblings first,
Mhm.
and then we told the rest of the family via telephone because we were up at the hospital and staying there
And
with
Faith is the
so
youngest.
Faith is the youngest,
Okay.
and you know, word gets around. We're from a
Sure,
very
it
small
does.
town,
Yeah. Mhm.
and but it's very difficult, especially when they saw Faith and they recognized that she was a very healthy young child and had no
Right.
signs and symptoms.
Right, right. And then all of a sudden being told, well, your child looks healthy, but she's really very sick.
So, right.
It's very hard to put the two things together.
Well, and that's when we were talking at the kickoff. That's where Leukemia and Lymphoma Society really was a great assistance to us right off the bat, right from
Oh.
day one.
So what were they able to do for
Well,
you?
one of the first things that we did, we were provided with pamphlets because when they say acute T-cell leukemia, you're like, what's that?
Right.
you
What's
know,
a T cell?
What's
yeah,
a,
right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What's a T-cell? We know leukemia is a blood cancer, but you pretty much don't know more than that. So they immediately provided us with informational pamphlets to give us an idea of what the disease is, how the disease affects them, how they treat the disease, what's the prognosis. They talk about side effects, etc. And then after that, we utilized programs that Leukemia and Lymphoma Society offers to patients as well as their families. They have many educational programs that you can participate in via telephone. They have a toll and a mileage reimbursement. They have copay
Wow.
reimbursements for people just to help them.
That's wonderful.
To help them kind of because we were traveling back and forth to the hospital quite often. Thankfully, Faith
yeah.
didn't have to stay in the hospital for her treatments, but
Wow.
we had to go up quite often. So it
Exactly.
really,
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I've heard
they
of
offered
people
a
going
lot of-
broke with, yeah.
yeah, they offered a lot of programs that we utilized, and like
That's
I said,
terrific.
Carl said as soon as Faith was in remission the year after, we said, you know what, this is payback time. This is how we
Right.
That's true,
are
right.
going to help others, so they get the word out there, so that they know that there are these other services that are available. Not only are they trying to find the cure for all these cancers,
Right.
but they're helping you treat your child or treat a family member too. So.
And that's great. You need the preparation for yourself. I mean,
Yes.
how do you deal with a child with, I can imagine it's very heartbreaking. I mean, I had the closest I can relate to that would be that I had a dog that had cancer of the kidneys, I think it was, or the liver, and just watching her and knowing at first she was just perfectly fine, and then she started exhibiting some strange, like she had blood when she went to the bathroom, that kind of thing, and I'm like, well, that's not normal. And then we were told, and she lived a year with it. And that even made me say, if I felt the way I did going through that, I can't imagine a parent going through that. And I can't imagine being the child going through that.
Yeah.
Do you have much memory of it,
I
or
really don't remember much of it because I was so young.
right?
Just little details that I was in the hospital a lot.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of it.
Do you think it seemed kind of normal at the time for you? Oh, Mel, I'm in the hospital. I guess all other kids do the same thing, or
Honestly, no.
no? Yeah, I mean, because I can see little kids. They're like, well, gee, I guess this is just normal then, as long as their parents don't tell them otherwise.
What must have been tough is the treatments. I could just imagine
Yeah.
the chemo and the radiation.
Uh-huh.
But Faith did not have to have radiation, but she did have to have chemotherapy, and that's very difficult.
It is
for
difficult.
Adults and children, they do have the same symptoms: losing their hair, nausea, vomiting, weight loss.
Wow.
But they're constantly tweaking the treatments so the child can feel better. And at least when children are getting the treatment, they're with other children. So there's a support system
Right.
that the parents are supportive of each other. You see sometimes you start to see the same parents over and over again.
Probably,
and,
it's
and
like
Faith
getting
would
to be a
see some of the
family.
same children over and over again.
Yeah.
So you do what you have to do. You do what you have to do to get your child through it. And that's
Yeah.
what. And like I said, many of the educational programs, you can call in and you listen to these parents and you can talk to other parents.
Right.
And that's helpful, especially when it's a child that has a similar cancer to your child.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, comparing notes and doctors and stuff like
Yes.
that, and even for the kids to be able to meet with each other
Yes.
and know that they're both facing the same thing. It's got to be
Well-
helpful.
And
But-
when they're at the young age, you only tell them what they can comprehend.
Yeah, oh,
so,
of course.
you're not sharing a great deal of information. That's why Faith
No.
doesn't really.
But that's
know a
why I
lot,
asked
but
her, what does
yeah.
she remember?
Yeah.
Which is, I'm glad she doesn't remember a lot
Yeah.
because I know a lot of it was probably horrible.
Yeah.
But
Right.
you know what? She has got a beautiful head of hair now, let me tell you.
Thank
A
you.
great, beautiful smile, and she just looks as healthy as can
Yes.
be. And, we wish you long, long, long healthiness.
Thank
Right.
you.
Thank you.
And,
You know, our former co-host, her husband has leukemia, and it's very tough on him. I mean, he's retired now, but I know he gets tired very easily and stuff like that, and that is also one of the reasons that Mary had to take it over the show because of
Right.
that. So,
she had to be home with him.
she had to be home with him.
And actually, Phil and I have made it a very important to what we do to do what we can whenever the charities call, especially the cancer charities, because, like I said, he's had so many in his family. I've had a few uncles, pass from brain cancer and stuff, and it's important to get in there and help and give back.
Right.
So, what kind of programs are they running now? I think you
Well,
have a list of programs and
Yeah,
stuff.
it's
or-
very important in that there is research.
Mhm.
They push patient access, advocacy.
Mm-hmm.
They go to the state capitol and to Washington to fight for policy.
Wow.
So the Leukemia Lymphoma Society does a lot of that. The Light the Night Walk has grown by leaps and bounds from
I
what
believe.
we started 17 years ago at John Jay High School, and this year over the walkway, I think it's going to be our best year ever. I got to meet Faith when she was 5 years old. I can't believe she's in high school and all grown up, just about.
Just about.
And
I don't think
Mary
Mom's ready
and
to let her go
husband
yet.
have become very good friends of mine, and a lot of the people on the committee, we're in touch now with the wonders of social media and Facebook
Right.
and Twitter and all that other stuff, Instagram. We're able to communicate. There are Facebook pages out there, and I would encourage anyone, Mary, who would like to get involved to go to the Facebook page, because we want to make strides every day,
Right.
because we want to make the cure today. Someday is today. We're bringing light and awareness to something that no family, no child, no parent should have to experience. And we're in it for the long haul,
Yeah.
and we're going to win. We're
Oh,
going to
yeah.
win,
You're right.
and
I
we're going
believe
to
it.
keep fighting until we win. So there'll be registration that night, fireworks, there'll be
Wow.
food, helicopter.
Oh, yeah?
So besides
Okay.
for
Wow.
being out there for a great cause, just like with the Relay for Life.
Yes.
Exactly.
It's a 12-hour type of. I mean, we start setting up around 2 in the afternoon.
Right.
Registration starts at 5. The walk begins a little after 7 because by October
You're
it's
waiting
dusk.
for dark.
Yes.
Right,
Yeah.
we're waiting for dusk, and the walk takes about an hour, hour and a half. So by the time we wrap it all up, it's 10:30 at night, and
Right.
so you've put in a pretty long day, and it's emotionally draining
Oh.
for a lot
Oh,
of people
yeah.
because we honor those that we've lost, those that are still fighting, those that are survivors,
Right.
and we have different lanterns, lit up lanterns, white, yellow, and red that signify
Wow.
different things.
Different. Okay.
And there are speeches given. We have a lot of important people from the community come out, but we've made, like I said, some lifelong friendships, and they can share stories, and that helps people. When you can express, and I'm sure Phil feels this way, when he can talk to someone about his own battle, about his sister's battle.
That's right.
It helps. It's therapy. It really, really is.
Yeah, it's usually
My best.
I'm the one that he talks to.
Yes,
about
and
all
she's
that
my
stuff now.
Mary is my caregiver also.
Really?
I was
Yes.
the caregiver on the
well,
walk.
you're very lucky.
Yes.
And,
Yes.
and
Yes.
I want people to know that in 2017, the goal is to raise almost $41 million
Wow.
to fight leukemia, lymphoma, and
wow.
other blood-related cancers. And we're going to do it.
I
We're
think
gonna do it, and
so,
we're gonna,
you know?
we're going to do a bang-up job here in the Hudson Valley.
That's right.
October 21st at the walkway over the Hudson, and we want to see a lot of people out there.
A lot of people. That's right.
What can you use for my? What can you say to my viewers out there that you'd like them to do?
You know, get involved. I think your producer's going to roll our credits later and say who they can contact, which is Karen, who is the campaign manager for Light the Night for Upstate. So
Okay.
each walk has a campaign manager, and Karen is new to the group at Leukemia and Lymphoma, but she comes from a long background of charity work and fundraising work. And, you know, go to the Light the Night walk for the Hudson Valley, which will be held in Dutchess
Because
County.
you don't necessarily have to have experience with
Right.
cancer to actually
And if you
go
can't
there.
make the walk,
That's
we'll
right.
take checks.
Yeah,
We're not
that's
shy.
right.
That's right. Yeah.
They can do that. They can come out that night and volunteer. They can contact Karen ahead of time and ask what kind of volunteerism can they do for that evening. Setting the booths up and all that good stuff.
Wow.
There's going to be a lot to do. They could help
Yes. Mm-hmm.
serve the food possibly, and
Right.
you know, we try to make it an uplifting night. For some families, it's a tough night as they
Yeah.
recall a loved one that's not with them anymore,
Right.
or going through their own
Yeah, I know.
personal
That's
journey.
that was his thing when we
Right.
were
Yeah.
walking. You know.
I mean that I have to be on both sides of the fence
Sure.
that night as a survivor and also as a supporter, just like at the American Cancer Society, the thing we just did,
Yeah.
the
the
Relay for
Relay
Life,
for Life
being on
was-
both sides of the fence, having to be as a survivor and have a caregiver, Mary, walking me around. I mean, and at the same time
It was
supporting.
a beautiful
you know,
thing. It really
to say
was.
something about caregivers for a second, in my personal professional career, I get to meet a lot of different people from a lot of different organizations, and caregivers are the unsung heroes out there. The people who, whether your loved one is suffering from a cancer, a heart condition, an Alzheimer's situation,
Right.
those are the people that are in the trenches.
Yeah.
And what the caregiver needs to remember is to give themselves a break, to get out to see a movie, to have a bite to eat, to get some needed rest. Because as a caregiver, especially for a close friend or a relative, you become so emotionally attached that it
Right.
is draining.
Yeah.
And I've seen this over the course of my professional career and in my involvement with not just leukemia and lymphoma, but with other organizations that I've been involved with. And, you know, and unfortunately, not every person has a caregiver, which is really sad.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
But those that do are very, very fortunate because it helps to ease the physical and the mental pain.
Absolutely.
Right.
But you cannot put yourself in that spot for 24/7 because it'll wear you down.
Yeah.
And so you need to understand that as a caregiver and take a step back.
Right. Yeah, I think you're right, and I'm kind of guilty sometimes of doing that, not taking that step back. And
Right.
I remember with my grandfather, he had heart problems, and my mother was constantly there,
And she
there.
must have been worn out.
And she really was. And when he finally passed, it was like slamming into a brick wall.
Sure.
Because now,
Now you had nothing to do.
right, you were used to going over and helping them
Right.
bathe or eat or clean the house.
There are a lot
There's
of
nothing.
conferences that are held by different organizations that are about being a caregiver and the do's and don'ts of being a caregiver.
Wow,
Right.
okay.
So, and those are very, very important.
That's
a lot
something
of times
that a lot of people,
you
I
could
think,
find
should know,
through,
yeah.
Office for the Aging,
Okay.
or some other type of agency, the health department, or go to the internet and find Google caregiving and caregivers and stuff. There's a lot of organizations today that are support groups. Maybe through the local hospitals. You got some great ones here in Orange County. We have some great
Right.
ones in Dutchess. And they can point you into those support groups. And that's another thing, because you need to be able to let it out, what you're going through as the caregiver for this loved one of yours.
That's
that means
true.
so much to you.
Yeah. I think that people tend to hold that back because they don't want the one they're caring for to see that they're emotional.
Right.
Right.
So
Because with Mary, there's a lot of other things besides the kidney cancer that I had then. I also have, 2 heart conditions, asthma, and a bunch of other things.
He's got a lot of things
and
going
she
on.
really has to look out for me with my diets and stuff like that. She even goes to the doctor with me and stuff like that.
Well, the good man upstairs must think an awful lot of you, Phil, because he's putting a lot on your plate.
He is, and actually, Phil's wife was just treated for skin cancer.
Wow.
Very bad.
Yeah, and she was given the all clear by the doctor the other day. That,
Oh, thank God.
yeah, she's doing better.
Let's put it this way: there is no good cancer.
Right? Oh, absolutely.
If you had to go and pick from a
But
menu,
if
I
you
don't think
have
there's
to-
one that any of us would want.
Nobody wants any of it.
No.
That's
No.
right. I mean, you just don't want it. And like I said, I had a dog that went through it, and that was hard. It was really hard. So having family members go through it, and it's just too much. And
But we're going to win.
That's
we're
right.
gonna
We're
win.
going to win that
Because
fight.
everybody's going to
Yes.
stay positive.
We're going to light the night, and we're
Yes.
going to walk.
Yes, we
We're going to
are.
raise awareness, and we're going to raise money, and Faith is going to lead us.
Yes.
That's right.
And Mary's going to be there, and the whole gang, right?
Yes.
Hopefully, well,
Everybody, the whole
I know
family will be
the
there.
older
That'd
ones
be
are
great.
down south, but hopefully they can make
Are
it
they
back
gonna
for
come
that
up?
night.
But
We're hoping
and
everybody's
we're
gonna
looking
be
forward.
there.
We
Great.
want to perform there that night, and doing this song should really touch the people.
Yeah. We just did Angels Among Us, and I hope it was uplifting for you guys too.
Because
We're in the middle of perfecting
that
it.
song means so much to Mary and I, and
Yeah.
it's a real song for us,
Mm-hmm.
Angels Among Us, because we met each other after her father had passed away,
Right.
and
Yeah.
it
And I
just
was hurting really bad.
You never know who you're going to meet on the path of life.
You
I
don't.
always say.
right.
But I always know also the other thing that I believe in is that God will put that person in your path that
Absolutely.
you have to run into there.
Absolutely.
And they're going to be in your life for as long as they have to
Yep.
be, and that's all.
And I'm a firm believer in the poem Footprints.
Yes.
Because I've looked back over my life
Absolutely.
now that I'm getting a little up there.
Mm-hmm.
And I wondered during those difficult times, how was I going to get through? And I would look back, how did I get through?
That's
And I know
right.
the answer.
Mhm.
I didn't get through by
No.
myself.
Right.
There was a
Right.
greater power
That's right.
that carried me forward.
Mm-hmm.
And
And having people behind you, I think, and helping and even just prayers, good thoughts, all that kind of
when I
stuff.
met Faith, I had
Yeah.
hair. Remember Faith? I had not a lot, but I had more than I have now,
Oh wow! That's okay.
and it wasn't gray.
Well, now when you see Faith with gray hair, then you'll know you've been together a long time.
From your lips to God's ears, because if
I
I live long
know.
enough to see Faith with gray hair,
That would be
I'll
outstanding.
be more than a century old.
Yeah.
So
You know what? There are so many people now that are living past there, so
you're right.
I can't
You're
say
right.
that couldn't be a possibility.
Yeah. Well,
So-
I guess we'll get up and sing our.
All right. So,
Songs now.
do you want to? Was there anything
That you
want
wanna
to
add?
say, or tell your friends while you're here?
Just tell people about the walk. It touches a lot of people.
Mhm.
It helps so many people. I was helped by just the people that do the walk.
Right.
It's a good thing.
Well, that's terrific. And you know what? I think it helps too that you all came out here tonight to sit and talk with us about it.
Can we give you a phone number?
Absolutely.
Well, that would be 518-438-3583.
Okay.
Okay, that's
perfect.
518-438-3583.
All right,
And
and
tell them that you're interested in the Light the Night Walk that's going to take place on October 21st at the Walkway over the Hudson.
Is there a registration fee?
I don't believe so. They'd like everybody to try to raise at least $100.
Okay.
That's not bad.
No,
You
not
get 10
really.
friends, they give you $10.
Yeah.
You know,
That's right.
You're
I-
there. You got $100.
I remember, yeah, as a kid, like I said, just collecting for
But,
leukemia
you know,
back then.
Whether you raise 100 or 10 or 5 or whatever you can contribute,
Right.
just like Jerry Lewis used to
Yes,
say
yes.
years
Oh,
ago
yes.
on the March
Oh,
of
yeah.
Dimes, and I remember that so well because I that's another organization I happen to be affiliated
Right.
with.
Right.
But I remember watching that telethon forever.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
I
the
used
March
to-
done with Hal Linden.
Yes.
I remember that.
Yeah.
The cerebral palsy telethon with
Right.
Dennis James.
Yes.
They had a lot of them.
And
The
boy, they
NBA.
did some great stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But you know, the work continues,
Yes.
and
It
we're
will
not going to be
continue.
satisfied till we give leukemia, lymphoma, and blood-related cancers the knockout punch.
Right. And when we
right.
do, instead of having a telethon on this channel, we promise we're going to have a party.
Oh, we
big
are
party
gonna
on this
have
thing, a big
party.
celebration.
And Phil, I know you're from New York City like I am, and they'll hear me from here to Canarsie.
That's
Remember
right.
where Canarsie is, Phil?
I used to hang out there as a
Okay.
kid.
I'm
Good.
sure you did. All right. Well, we're gonna just lighten the end of the show a little. Phil and I are gonna perform 2 songs for you guys.
Thank you
They're-
so much.
They're kind of silly songs,
Thank you.
and I hope that you guys like them and laugh along with our silliness.
Thank you very much for
And
having us.
Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
so much
Really
for
our
coming.
pleasure.
appreciate it.
All
It's our
right.
pleasure for having
you.
you. All right.
All right.
Now this is us. This is our songs,
Yes.
and they were written by our friend Carl Richards.
Right.
The first one is "I Can't Give Them Up for You."
Yes.
The second one's called "Stand by Me," and they are kind of actually opposite. It's kind of funny.
Yes.
The first one's like a breakup song, and the second one is saying "I'm going to stay with you forever."
Yes.
So, it's kind of funny. Let's roll it.
I said I'd break all the chains that bind me, that I'd be free for loving only you. But every time I see my children playing, I say I just can't give them up for you.
You said you'd break all the chains that bind you, that you'd be mine until the end of time. I gave my heart and body just to have you, and now you wanna break this heart of mine.
It's a hard thing for me to do.
It's hard for me.
It's the hard thing to see you leave.
It's harder for me.
But I just can't give them up for you.
Wait for me then. You said that you would love me forever, that I'd be yours until the end of time. I know how much you want and need your children, but please don't break this heart of mine.
It's a hard thing for me to do.
It's hard for me.
It's a hard thing to see you leave.
It's hard for me.
But I just can't give them up for you. I don't know what you expect.
Well, I expected you'd love me forever, like you
Well,
said.
you know,
You can have your family and me too.
things happen.
And now you want to break my heart. Wow.
Nice. Yeah, you're the one than that. It's not me. It's you.
Oh, no. But you need to spend time with me. You did.
It's a hard thing for me to do.
It's harder for me.
It's a hard thing to see you leave.
But harder for me.
But I just can't give them up for you.
I don't want to talk about it anymore. Just can't give them up for me.
But I'm still loving only you.
It's our number one.
Thank you. Okay.
Okay, folks. So that was our
Yeah.
our levity for the night. I hope you
And-
enjoyed it.
Yes,
Thank
and
you to.
we want to thank you for another great season.
That's right.
Yes. And, okay. Thank you for watching. This goes for all the channels. And it was a great season 21. And we look forward to a great season 22.
That's right.
And we will be back in August. In the meantime, just stay tuned. We will be showing you our reruns. We're not off the air. We're just doing our reruns, taking a vacation. So
And like I said,
we
you know,
will
you
see
can
you.
YouTube us. We're always on YouTube TV, right?
On
You
YouTube
can
TV.
always do that.
Yes.
So with
So,
that, good night, and
good
thank
night.
you to our friends.
We love you
for coming
all.
over from the Leukemia Society. I hope it makes a big difference.